Okay, we're back again. This time we're going to power through the rest of Syren. At the start of level 3, we're greeted with a gun, a tracker, and a man who seemingly shot himself through his eye. Those don't look like mermaid injuries. Fair enough, mate. I don't blame you. Something that the astute viewer may have noticed is that I've actually been getting taller, to the extent that my head is beginning to rub against the ceiling. Now, I played this in one session. This problem is limited only to Syren, and it persists when I quit the game and start it back up. I don't know if this is a known issue, but one of the things you can do in this game is grab things from afar. Now, this is taught to you in the tutorial, and there's only 2 reasons why I believe this could be the case. One is, there are weird interactions when you walk up to a table and try and grab things. Sometimes it doesn't seem to want to let you get very close, as if the hitbox or whatever you want to call it of the table is a lot bigger than it actually looks. The other one is, it might actually be a workaround, for the simple fact that I could no longer actually reach the floor by the time I was this far into the game. You'll see more of that in a moment. First, let's have a look at this decontamination chamber. Yeah, I think anybody who has a basic understanding of what these are trying to achieve will be able to see the flaw in this decontamination chamber. Anyways, as for the setting, we are clearly in a laboratory. You can tell from all of the science. Credit where it's due, one thing I really like about this game is a lack of an inventory system. Having to put things down to interact with the world is really cool. I mean, technically I could have just punched the button here whilst holding my tracker, but it felt natural to do it this way. It would be really exciting if they'd introduce situations where you had to put things down to proceed. Imagine a situation where you have to put down your flashlight in order to interact with, say, a valve on the wall. That would be cool as fuck. You'd have your monster walking around in the shadows, and you'd be trying to get the job done before it rounds the corner. Sadly, Syren is not the game to bring that to you. Anyways, there's 2 problems with this dead man on the floor. The first is that, as I've been growing, I've also lost my ability to reach the floor. So it's more like the imaginary 3D space that I occupy has lifted about a foot upwards from the game. The second issue is that I can't pull the knife out, not even using the pick up from afar ability. It's really just stupid and bad. I've already had a melee weapon in the game, and they've given me a gun, so it's not like they don't want me to kill this mermaid. As you'll see in the remainder of the level, there is absolutely no reason why I can't kill this mermaid, and still progress. Still, that's the way Syren likes to do things, so let's speed up our journey through this level a little bit. Upon leaving the decontamination chamber, I walk over and try my new keycard on this door. Unfortunately, it's jammed, and in the end it baits me into dying. Sort of. I think my rationale was that if I use the gun, I would be fucked later anyway, so why bother? I don't know. Anyways, more power to the bait, I'm happy with it. The only thing I don't like about it is that the game wasn't very fun. But that aside, the right idea, I think. This time I decide not to bother with the keycard and instead go to explore the rest of the room. It's around about now that I was really starting to see the flaws with the AI in this game. So, aside from throwing objects, or clanking against walls, basically any kind of collision, the mermaids only seem to really care about what's directly in front of them. And they walk in that really dated, military march, right angle turn, eyes forward, turn head kind of way. Next we see a valve on a wall. And in fairness, given how slowly we walk towards it, I'm not surprised that mermaids never hear our footsteps.
Radioactive containment system compromised. Reactor breach imminent.
I was really hoping for some kind of tactile feedback here. I've got to admit, the lab is a pretty cool environment. You've got small aquariums with all kinds of animals in them. The environment really encourages you to get your sneak on, unlike in the second level, where it didn't really feel like you had that much agency in your sneaking. Unfortunately, what should have been a perfectly fine manoeuvre, rushing into the decontamination chamber and closing the doors, was foiled by the developer's inability to make that one door act like the other door and not open at context-specific times. Oh, and they completely missed a trick in not allowing you to use the gun to save yourself when you've been grabbed. That would have been fucking cool. That also would have been good gameplay. After a couple more tries, I worked out a system in which I did the lever, went and got the key pass, and then went to grab the gun, and then got my gun, and prepared myself to proceed. This hallway previously included a hazard, and that's why we had to drain the water, so that we wouldn't be electro-zapped. As we round the corner, we see a door on our right and a long hallway. I fully expected the hallway to be a death trap, so I went for the immediately obvious door. And here's what happened. Fucking popped the sucker, didn't I? I really don't appreciate being seen through the bookcase though. I thought that was a little bit unfair. But I can't complain because that's another level down. Notice that the totally dead mermaid is still screaming. Almost makes you feel bad, doesn't it? So, level 2 was big, it had some pretty cool ideas. Unfortunately, it had monsters everywhere, and the level was designed in such a way as to try and waste as much of your time as possible. Level 3 introduced the lab, which allowed you to do some genuine sneaking, to watch over yourself. Unfortunately, the actual puzzle element of the level was incredibly shallow, and as it was so time consuming slowly walking around, it was incredibly unsatisfying to die. It didn't feel like, ah shit, next time. It felt like, ah fuck, again? Anyways, we're on to level 4 now. A level where, despite the devs not successfully building and perfecting their gameplay mechanics, decides to take a very different turn. So sit back and enjoy this wild ride. And I don't just mean the vehicle. Okay, so not immediately obvious why we needed to go on that journey, but it's set building. We are approaching the anomaly site. Hang on. Anomaly site. Anomaly site. Anomaly site. No. Doesn't matter how you say it. It's just not very catchy, is it? Oh well, there's a lot of build up here, so there's obviously going to be some kind of payoff. You really walk so slow. I just realised this is when I figured out I had lady hands. You can feel the realisation dawn on me. Those fingernails, they're just too nice. Okay, so genuinely, the only thing going through my head at this point in time is please don't die. Please, please, please don't die. Do you know how long it took to get into the action on this level? And if they started me back at the elevator, the first elevator, I would be fucking pissed. They might not. In fairness, it could be that elevator. I didn't die, humble brag, so who knows? When the monsters start wearing walkie-talkies, that's when you know things are getting serious. Again, at this stage, I know that walking doesn't make any noise. I was a little bit worried that I was going to splash, but no, they didn't think of that, so we're okay. The natural conclusion about a game involving spooky mermaids, in fairness, does have to be some kind of Atlantis. Not being able to pick some things up arbitrarily is pretty annoying. I keep looking over my shoulder worrying that that mermaid's going to come up behind me and I'm going to get gotcha'd. Thankfully I find something I can use to fight it off. Good God! Men! 2 arms! 8 arms? 10 arms? No arms. But not armless. Did you get it? Alright. So yeah, that happened. You walk up this beam that the beast nicely knocked over for you when it died, and find a woman made of plasticine.
Identification. Access granted.
I wasn't sure during the fight, but it seems like this gun has unlimited ammo. So now we can go back and learn those mermaids a lesson. I won't bore you here, but the key pass is used back right at the very start of the level, so we have to walk back. When I got to the forklift, I tried my damnedest to see if I could get there and retain my gun, because I didn't know if it would come in handy. I half expected whatever item I put on the floor to clip through. Thankfully that isn't the case. But to be honest, based on past experiences with the game, I didn't think I was going to ever get to use this gun again. Look, I'm sorry I didn't turn around and see the explosions. My rationale was that I might be being chased by a big load of water, so shooting it wouldn't have even helped. I get to the end of the level, and activate the elevator, and hope and pray that I'll start the next level with my gun. Fuck's sake. Come on! Give me a break! Looking around, it looks like I'm in a fairly small room. It's a submarine room. This thing is about to come to a close. The most unnecessary elevator ride ever. So, this is my first time up here. The manual crane release, I couldn't figure out anything to do there. So I assumed, given the size of this area, that I would obviously need to look around and find something. Releasing the crane, probably be the last bit. Oh, little bubble. I tried a few times. I'm not going to show all the footage. I walked up to pretty much everything down here and either used my hand or tried to grab it with the grab from afar thing. Nothing. There's nothing to do. When you walk up the top, you realise that this area is as small as it first looked. So this is going to be pretty much, no matter what, probably the end of the game. Don't ask about the bubbles. Fuck knows. I don't know if that's intentional. It looks like it is intentional. And that's the thing that makes it even weirder. They could have had that come out of the water. But no, I guess. Looking around in the locker room, there's nothing of interest. We find a nice dead scientist who has a goodie for us. So we've got a new fancy gun. And what's that noise? So I kill the fuck out of that bitch. And I can't move. Yep, you saw it. She got too fucking close to me. Now I'm dead? Listen to this fucking cheeky music. Please stay calm. You want me to stay fucking calm, do you? How about you make the game work? I spent a fairly good amount of time in this area, looking around, grabbing at things, trying to understand why this area, trying to understand why the section I'm currently standing in is here. Okay, there's a gun, maybe I'm supposed to explode something. Shot every type of canister, none of it explodes. Tried to fucking shoot down the little motor, maybe I need to replace the motor. No, obviously not. Maybe pull on some kind of cranky thing. No. Double check, you know, it really looks like I should be able to grab some of these things, even if they don't do anything. Think, fuck it, can't even drown myself. Yep, you see it guys. No invisible barrier, no suicide pit, just fucking walk on the water. Just do it, just fucking walk on the water. Eventually, I solve it. You have to pull this thing down. And by the way, I almost couldn't get it down because of the glitch I mentioned before, where my play space had been slowly rising up into the heavens as I played. You have to use these 3 levers to place the submarine in the right spot. Oh, we've got it.
Welcome back, Dr. McCracken.
Is this really a time for jokes? Oh, fuck, oh, fuck. Oh, no, they've got the air underneath me. Oh, I'm screwed. Oh, fuck, where are their nipples? Oh, my God, where are their nipples? Oh, this is terrifying. What a chilling end. Oh, no, not the water. No, I'm not a mermaid. Water's not for me. No, I'll just be leaving. No, please stop. How are you doing that? You're pushing around. You're pushing the water around me and I'm going down. Oh, no, it's glowing. It's glowing green. What does it mean? I bet it's bad. Oh, let me go. Oh, come on, please. God, this music is tense. It's really making it more tense. Fuck, fuck, fuck. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Oh, it's alright, they're gone. Alright. You just wanna play, don't you? Oh, I knew it. You mermaids aren't so bad after all. Oh, what a relief. Oh, you're quite beautiful, really. I mean, it'd be nice if you had nipples, but, you know, in your own kind of way. Yeah. Isn't so bad. I don't seem to be suffocating. Maybe I am a mermaid. Oh, who are you? She might have nipples. We just can't see them. Sometimes it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. Did she just fucking nut me? She nutted me. She's nutting me. Oh, that is not on. She's clearly fucking headbutted me. All that beauty and majesty is just a facade. She's a fucking wrongin'. So, thoughts on the final level. Why the hell is there anything else there? Now, there is something that you might have thought, and I thought it too, and it might be true. Maybe if I have the gun, I can shoot the mermaids. There might be two endings. There are two reasons, though, why I really hope this isn't the case. One, there's not a level selector, which would mean I'd either have to walk up to the submarine with my gun in hand, anticipating some kind of mermaid grabbing, or I'd be expected to play the game twice. Fat fucking chance. You might think I'm being harsh on Syren. There are definitely some good qualities to it. Some of the world design is quite nice. They had some good ideas, or maybe idea, about how to make a puzzle. The sounds are passable, the physics are passable, the gunplay is passable. But Syren commits one cardinal sin. It's just not fun. It's not engaging. It doesn't feel like they thought about how it feels to play the levels at all. They crammed in the absolutely awful mermaids at every possible turn when they could have had them show up occasionally. They could have masked the issue of the terrible AI by just having fewer mermaids or by being a lot more selective about when they put them in. They could have made it way less of a pain to die. Now, I understand they really obviously wanted you to play the game slowly, methodically, but it doesn't make you do that. It's not my responsibility as a player to pretend I'm scared. And I get scared. I get scared quite easily. By the way, look how fucking tall I am by the end of the game. This is absurd. It's also just an awful start menu because you start with your balls brushing up against it. Back on point, what Syren needed was for the developers to really think about the puzzles that they were putting in, about the pacing, about the suspense. It can't be that hard to think up exciting puzzles in VR. They came up with the kitchen one. There's no excuses. My best guess is that they rushed it out or they thought that VR alone was enough to make the game good. And the sad thing is that they've been patching it like mad since it came out. And no amount of patching is going to fix the game, because the most fundamental aspects of what makes games in this genre fun are just not there. That wraps up Syren. I hope you've enjoyed my guided tour. It's not something I intend to do for every game by any means, but for any game that I really don't think you should buy, I think running through it and talking about what worked and what didn't is quite a productive and useful thing. We need to look at what works, what doesn't, and hold fundamental aspects of gameplay to the same standards as any non-VR game. If the game isn't in VR, especially a genre like this, it should still be a fun game, and no one would give Syren the time of day if it wasn't in VR. Let me know what you think. If you disagree, come at me. Until next time, and thank you for watching.